Hello. Today we're going to do a simple workflow automation that'll enable you to get information about people you deal with that are on LinkedIn in a very quick, useful, and methodical manner. So the first thing we're going to do, look at this on LinkedIn. My event that's coming up next week is right there. Yeah, so if you're looking at this video before November 20th of 2025, feel free to come to the event. It's going to be different than what I'm showing right now, but at the same time, it's going to be very useful, and I think you'll find it interesting. It's on November 20th, as the lady says, at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, there's some with this video, but I don't want her talking to me. Actually, let's see what she has to say.
Come to PCS event on November 20th. See the details below.
Okay, so couldn't have said it better myself. All right, so anyway, now we're done with a little promo here. Here's a process that I set up that you can easily set up yourself. It involves several tools. It involves LinkedIn. It involves Relay.app, which is an excellent automation tool. And also it involves contacts and Gmail. So I guess 4 different tools. So let's say that we go to LinkedIn, we have some person that we maybe met or we need to meet in the next meeting, and we don't know much about them. Okay, so we'll pull up my friend Jessica Duell, because she's an exceptional business leader. And if you're running a business and you want some real serious savvy in terms of how to run the business better, she would be the person to talk to. And I just happened to have a really nice breakfast with her today. And the lady is exceptional in many ways. You can look her up on LinkedIn, but in this case, we're going to use her as an example case. Let's say I don't know anything about Jessica. Okay, so I get her LinkedIn profile URL, pull it up, and that's what comes up. I could go and look through it, obviously, and see all the things that she's done and her skills, her videos, her posts, all that stuff obviously is here. What other people are saying about it, what she's done before. I could do all of this stuff, but I don't want to spend the time to look. So how do we get around it? The way we get around this is actually pretty simple. We get AI in the mix. First of all, I'm going to run the process itself to show you how it works, and then we're going to peel back the details of how to make it work on your end. The first thing we want to do is we want to grab the URL of her profile. So I'm just going to do a Control-C to copy it. After selecting it, then we're going to jump into Gmail, and we're going to do a new email, and I'm going to say LinkedIn. And as soon as I start typing LinkedIn, one of the things that comes up there, as you can see, it says LinkedIn profile automation, which is exactly what I want, because remembering this email address is obviously not an option. So I type that in, and then I don't put anything in the subject. I just put in the body the profile URL that I copied from LinkedIn, and then I click send. This is all I have to do. Okay, I create a new email, I drop the profile I want to have information on into the body, and I click send, and I'm done. Very simple, couple of clicks, couple of steps here. In a few seconds here, what's going to happen is I'm going to get an email. We'll see how long it takes, probably within half a minute or so, because it has to run this automation process, it has to do AI step, the number of things it needs to do. And then if everything goes okay, then I should get an email here. And here I am right there after about a minute. It took about a minute or so. I get the email right here. It says summary of LinkedIn for profile, and it's got the profile. And over here, as you can see, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here so it's easier to read. As you can see right here, it says that Jess Duell is a managing partner at Red Direction, a strategic growth orchestrator with over 20 years of experience in aligning strategy with operations to drive innovation and transformative change. Her expertise includes operational empowerment, navigating market dynamics, and serving as a board member for various organizations. Jess's profile could greatly benefit PCS. This is the key part, okay? Because I want to know how can she help my business specifically. Not just a little bit about her, which obviously this paragraph describes, but what can she do for my business for PCS. So it says her profile could greatly benefit PCS by offering seasoned strategic leadership. She could help PCS identify and capitalize on growth opportunities, optimize operational efficiencies, and foster innovation to stay ahead in dynamic markets. Her proven ability to turn challenges into scalable opportunities and her experience in executive decision-making and governance would be invaluable for developing robust strategies and navigating significant organizational transitions or expansions for PCS. There are specific things that it tells you, and obviously I can contact her from there and take it from there. So you can see it can be very useful. It's very succinct. The idea is not to spend half an hour reading something that I could just look at the profile and figure it out on my own. This way we get a much quicker and a much more succinct result. And then of course I can keep it, I can store it, I can put it in databases, I can put it anywhere I want if I needed to look at this in the future. But that's basically the process. So again, very simple to execute and anybody can do it. So how do we do it? First of all, you want to set up an automation on Relay.app. And so when you go to Relay.app, you can sign up for their free account. In my case, I have a paid account, but they still give you a fairly decent number of credits and AI credits. They give you a decent number of steps and AI credits even on the free account. So you can definitely try it for free without paying any money. Okay? In my case, you can see I still have quite a bit to go, even though I'm going to have a new refresh in 6 days. What Relay.app is, it's an automation workflow platform. Okay, it's not really necessarily something you do with AI, although you can use it in congruence with AI, but you don't have to. You can just use these different apps. And the way it works is basically you indicate some sort of a trigger, which will indicate when it should run. And then based on this trigger, it would actually run, and then it's going to do the following steps, and you indicate what the steps are. First do this, then do this, then do that. You can connect it to many different apps, and you have different functionality from these apps. And then in your workflow, you define, I want to use AI to create an email, then I want to feed it to Gmail, and so on and so forth. So it's basically a step-by-step automation approach, and you can infuse AI in the middle to do some of the things with AI, whichever AI LLM you want to use. That's basic description of what Relay.app is. It's an automation tool. In my case, I called it Email LinkedIn Profile Eval. You can give it any name you want. And as you can see, in my case, it's only 5 steps. It's not some huge thing, okay? And so the first thing I have is a trigger here. You can set it up to start manually, so you just run it whenever you feel like running it. You can set it up to run on a specific basis, like every day do something, or every month you want to do something. You have all kinds of different ways so you can trigger the execution of this particular workflow. In my case, I'm using what they call mail hook. What does this mean? It means that if I send an email to a particular email address, in this case is this email address, it's going to go ahead and run this whole process. That's what mail hook means. It's a hook that gets executed when email is sent to this particular email address. You can limit it to just specific senders that could trigger this thing, and the sender's email address. In my case, I want to use this one of my email addresses. Okay? So the first step is just the mail hook, meaning it's going to execute whenever I send email to that email address. The next step, I said I want you to run AI, which is what this little symbol means. And I said this particular case, something I'm doing to get LinkedIn profile URL. I'm trying to get the URL for LinkedIn profile that's in the body of the email. In the step here, it says, please extract the phone details from the attached email body. And it says LinkedIn URL. And then it just simply says use data from previous steps. Here from step 1, I'm using email body basically to get the URL from. That's all it does. Nothing more complex than that. And I can specify a different model. In my case, I'm using Gemini 2.5 Flash. So once it gets the profile URL from the email that was sent to it, then I'm saying look for that profile in LinkedIn. It's trying to find this profile so it can get the information from it. And so once it finds it, I'll have an ability to look at the details of that particular profile as the output of this step. And then I go to the next step, which is also an AI step, when I say, now take this profile, which was received in step number 3, and I'm telling the AI, say, please summarize the attached profile explain how it might be beneficial for PCS. And of course, AI knows what PCS is, what my business is. And I said, use fewer than 200 words. I want it to be small. I don't want it to be huge. Of course, you can change it to be whatever you want. You want to be 500, and you can change it to say, show me the top 5 skills and top 5 accomplishments. So you can break it down. You can basically guide it to be whatever you want in terms of the output you want to get from this. But in my case, I just want a quick summary and the reasons why this would be good for my company. Okay? Once this step gets run and gets the summary, then I just wanted to email to me as the last step. The send email step says, send email from me to me. Subject would be a summary of LinkedIn profile and the profile name that I got in step 2, which came from the mail hook. And then the body itself is going to show the AI output from step number 4, which is what created the summary. So you see how it's using data from prior steps to be able to feed current steps and be able to advance the process forward. That's how the data flows. So to quickly recap again, I send an email, and in that email I drop in the body the URL of the LinkedIn profile I'd like to get the evaluation on. AI then takes it, figures out what the profile URL is, and then pulls up the profile in LinkedIn. Then it summarizes the information it got from that profile and then sends me an email with that report. That's basically the process. Okay? The only other element that you need to know is to make this email, which is really a bunch of gibberish here, obviously you can see, to make it work so you don't have to worry about it, remembering what it is and so on. The easiest thing to do is you should simply drop it into contacts. So you go to contacts.google.com if you're using Google Contacts, and you simply create a contact with that email address, okay? And then you give it some name that would make sense to you so you can type it when you're sending email. So I called it LinkedIn Profile Automation. And I put LinkedIn Profile in the first name field and automation in the last name field. So that's why it shows like this. Okay? Of course, you can have all these different hooks for different purposes. Just give them decent names like this so you know what to use when you actually create those emails. Once it's set up in contacts, it's pretty much instantaneous. Then I can just go to Gmail and start typing the name I gave to that particular contact, and that's always going to drop the right email in there. It'd be interesting just as a, let's run it one more time, except this time let's pull up my profile. So Jessica, thank you for being guinea pig today. We used you as a test case. Seriously though, if you're looking for some business help, strategic business help, definitely contact her. She'll definitely be able to help you. Let's go to my profile. And let's grab it. Get the URL and then go to Gmail. And then we're going to create new email. And we're going to do the same LinkedIn profile automation. And we're going to paste it in the body. And then we're going to click send. And it says message sent. Okay, so it's 6:12 p.m. right now. Let's see how quickly it comes back. It's not instantaneous, and if we look at the Relay.app, we can actually watch it run. It's running right here. It's running right here, and it just got done. And so basically, if we go back to email and click on check email, then this new email came in. So basically, it hasn't even been a minute since it ran. So it's very, very quick how it does this. And so if we click on it, it tells me this. It says, it doesn't know it's me. It tells what I've done. Okay, I don't want to read about myself, so we'll skip it. You can read it if you want. And it says, this profile greatly benefits PCS by highlighting all its extensive tenure and deep specialized knowledge in AI and IT tailored for small businesses. His proven ability to implement right-sized technology solutions, improve operations, reduce costs, and drive growth positions PCS as a trusted, innovative partner. His long-standing leadership ensures PCS offers practical, effective, strategically sound technology solutions, so services. So basically, it does, as you can see, it did a decent job explaining this, except Gemini Flash doesn't know that this is actually me. So it knows something about me, but it doesn't know that it's actually looking at me, which is kind of funny. But as you can see, it works really well for any kind of profile and very useful, very easy to set up. You can set this up in minutes. And contact is easy to set up. LinkedIn profile to get that and set up email, you already know how to do that. So it's just a matter of setting up this actual automation in Relay.app, which is kind of glue that makes this whole process work. Okay? Again, just to show you one more time, the prompt for getting the LinkedIn profile is super simple, as you can see it right there. Just says, please extract the following details from the attached email body and LinkedIn URL. Sometimes you want to have more than that, which you can definitely do as well. In my case, all I cared about was LinkedIn URL. So that's one AI step. Then LinkedIn step is just to get that profile by specifying it from the prior step 2. You just drop it in there and it knows what to do. You don't need to do anything beyond that. Okay? And then the next step is, again, AI, and the prompt is, please summarize the attached profile and explain how it might be beneficial for PCS. Use fewer than 200 words. Very straightforward, very simple. Don't make your prompts too complicated. Okay? Just stick to simple, exactly what you're looking for. And then the last step is just simply using Gmail, saying send email. You fill in a couple of these parameters as you see fit. And you can put anything you want here, obviously. The important thing is this part here. If you want the report to come out as part of the body in the email, then you stick that from step number 4, which was the step that created the actual summary of the profile information. And then it'll send email, and that's it. And then you turn the hook on, this process on, so this thing will run automatically every time the email is received, and it just runs. Once you set it up, you don't have to go back to Relay.app at all. It'll automatically run in the cloud there whenever the email is sent. So the only thing you really need to do is you go to LinkedIn, you find the profile of somebody you're about to meet or scheduled to meet soon, and if you want to get their information, you copy the profile URL, and you go to Gmail and type in this LinkedIn automation email or whatever you called it, so it comes up, and then you paste the URL of the LinkedIn profile into the body of that email, send it, and then in less than a minute, you're going to get the response. That's how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to send them my way. I'll be happy to answer them. If you want some serious business savvy and help on a consulting level in terms of improving your business, definitely talk to Jessica Duell, and I'll have her profile URL linked down below in the comments. And until next time, I'm Oleg.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.